Let's zoom out a bit. Let's talk about FY26. And it's turned out to be one of the more eventful years. We're speaking about that with Deepan just a few minutes ago before that break. And it's been one of the more happening years and more eventful years for markets, marked by a mix of both policy shifts, global shocks, but also sharp swings in asset prices. Sneh here with the top 10 events that rocked the market this financial year.
Well, yes, FY26 has been quite an eventful year for the markets, for the global economy as well. And here are the top events that rocked FY26, the bulls, bears and the black swans. First, let's start by talking about the first event that hit India at the beginning of the new Indian financial year. On 2nd April, Liberation Day tariffs announced by Donald Trump, 10% blanket tariffs on all global countries, followed by additional 26% tariff on India. Well, yes, the most recent judgment from the United States Supreme Court has turned around this tariff orders. They've ordered Trump to refund this tariff along with interest. But yes, this has led to a shake-up in the global economy and triggered a global market sell-off in April of 2025. Event number 2, 6th of June 2025, RBI's 50 bips rate cut and front-loading by the RBI. This was another major event to watch out for in FY26. Repo rate was cut by 50 bips back home to 5.5%. The stance was shifted from accommodative to neutral. The CRR was reduced by 100 bips to 3% to accommodate front loading, and this was a clear signal by RBI in their effort to boost growth and also to some extent combat that Liberation Day tariff that the US had imposed on India. So that was event number 2. Event number 3, September 22nd, is when the implementation of the GST cut that was announced on 15th August by PM Modi was implemented. So GST system was overhauled to 2 tax brackets, 5% and 18%, and GST on sectors like auto, agri, cement, consumer staples and textiles was reduced, and insurance was completely wiped out. So yes, that was another market trigger. Event number 4, the new year, the beginning of the year, 5th January, the Nifty hit an all-time high, and well, after that, it's been one way downwards with a recent recovery underway. 26,373.2 is when we hit an all-time high on the Nifty on 5th Jan. Event number 5, let's take a look at 31st Jan, what happened. Gold and silver saw a massive plunge after a very eventful rally because you had US President Donald Trump, who had announced the appointment of Kevin Walsh as the next Fed chair. On the back of that, silver fell 37% in one night after touching $120, and that was one of the biggest events to watch out for. Gold also fell 8% that day. Next event, event number 6, was 1st Feb. Everybody knows that's the Union Budget Day back home. A complete Sunday shocker with the STT on futures that was increased, and a 12.2 lakh crore capital expenditure allocation was also announced. So that increase was also significant. Event number 7, let's talk about what happened on 4th Feb, as recent as now of this year. It was the launch of Anthropic and Claude, and on the back of that, the IT sell-off was triggered back home. You had names like Infosys, TCS, HCL Tech, Mahindra and Wipro that all fell as much as 6% on that day. Event number 8, let's talk about February 28, the beginning of the Iran-Israel conflict and the subsequent spike in crude on the back of all the disruptions at the Strait of Hormuz. WTI crude spiked as high as $120 per barrel. You had Brent that was as high as 120 as well. And key attacks on Qatar and Iran's gas infra also led to LPG shortages back home. Now, event numbers 9 and 10 is a trend that we have seen in the making right now. Number 9 is the fall that we have seen in the rupee. Each day, we're touching a fresh new low. This is the latest low against the dollar. So that is event number 9. And event number 10 is the massive FII outflows that we've seen in FY26, touching the tune of 2.5 lakh crore rupees, the highest on record so far. And that's a summation of all the events that summed up FY26, the bulls, the bears, and all the black swans in between.
Thank you so much for that, Sneh. And that's a long